Hey guys, welcome. This is Brad Krantz. Thanks so much for joining me for my Monday morning leadership. Today, I share my opinions and observations on financial literacy, and it's a topic that's near and dear to me. Today, what is financial literacy and why it's important? And just to give you an idea, the background I chose today, I've always kind of liked it. I think it just kind of shows speed, acceleration, all that. And we live in a world today, guys, with the technological changes happening. It's an ever increasing complex world. Things are moving faster than they ever have. And that's why I chose this background, especially as we talk about financial literacy. There's so many things coming at us at such a high rate of speed that's getting faster that we really need to be aware. So I want to just kind of give you a quick backstory on why I'm doing this video and why I picked this topic. I'm passionate about leadership because I've seen a lack of it in our world, especially in the business world. And leadership is influence, right? So it's my hope that I can influence you to whatever degree and that you'll be a bit more motivated, hopefully, to become more financially literate as a result of this video. So I'll just say up front, I'm not a financial advisor or planner, but rather someone who's lived through enough life experiences. I've probably had more failures than success. I've had my share of financial struggles. Trust me, share a couple here coming up. So I'm also passionate about finances because of these struggles with money and a lack of financial literacy throughout my life. And I want to be real enough to share, hey, I drove a car for a winter with no heat and no power steering. Not a fun deal, guys. And it also culminated with eventually bankruptcy that we went through in 2008. So I've had my struggles, guys. Trust me, I know I couldn't buy a $20 pair of shoes at one point. Okay. So I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I've had my challenges. I'm in a different position. So I wanted to share some of the things I've gained through my life and my experiences. Hopefully you can relate to them. Ron Malhotra, he's a wealth and business mentor from Australia. I'm reading one of his current books. In fact, he's recently and wisely posted, you're either getting paid well for the decisions you made 3 to 5 years ago, or you are paying for the decisions 3 or 5 years ago. Okay, think about that one. And he continues, he says, what happens to you in your finances in 3 to 5 years from now will be determined by what you're doing currently. And I agree with him, and I think he's spot on. So I've been on a 30-year journey, basically, of gaining financial literacy. Again, probably making more mistakes than that, but I've learned from them, and I understand it's important. So at this point, I just want to do a quick screen share. I want to share something to be my due diligence and just tell you that my channel obviously is for informational purposes only, right? You should not construe any information I'm providing. It's basically more financial opinion than advice, but any material I'm sharing is financial, legal, tax, investment, or other advice. Okay, so please consult a licensed financial advisor and do your own research before making any financial decisions. Okay, so with that said, why is financial literacy so important? So for starters, 65% of people are considered financially illiterate. And Robert Kiyosaki said, and he takes a bit further, he goes, money's a powerful force. You want to have it work against you. If your self-discipline and financial intelligence are low, money's going to run over you. And it kind of did in my life. Okay. It will be smarter than you and it will take over your life, which it did. He goes on, most people hate to do their finances, right? It's not my cup of tea necessarily, but they don't look forward to handling all their bills and doing their taxes each year. The best option is to ignore it as much as possible and let someone else handle the things that really need to be done. But he says in that case, you don't have a grip on your situation and money will run over you, okay? Yet, as I mentioned, few are prepared. I could put myself in this boat too at one point, as financial decision-making grows more complex, and hence my background today, guys, right? Many consumers have little understanding of how finances, how credit works, the potential hit to financial well-being that poor financial decisions can create for so many and for many years. In fact, we don't learn it in our school system. Is a big thing. In fact, the lack of financial understanding has been signaled as one of the main reasons that Americans struggle with saving and investing. And a recent statistic from June of this year says that 54% of consumers in the United States today live paycheck to paycheck, including 53% of those who earn $50,000 to $100,000 a year. Now, that might sound shocking, but I recall doing a video with a good friend of mine, Val Campbell, oh gosh, probably a year plus ago. And we talked about the number of people making over 100,000 a year in cities like where I live near Seattle that can't afford to buy a home. And one of the biggest reasons of this today is because of student debt. Guys, debt has got people in bad situations are upside down. Again, I've been in that situation. It is not any fun, but financial literacy is really the ability, to understand the products and concepts that you need to manage your money. Okay. There's a wide range of knowledge that's going to allow you to see the potential costs of your decisions, and taking the time to understand banking, saving, investing, and more may help you achieve economic and financial stability. That's my hope. Right. In scripture, Proverbs 4:7 instructs us the beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom, and whatever you get insight. Now, there's a lot I could unpack here. This is more in the spiritual realm, but get wisdom, get insight, guys. It's the same thing when you get into the financial realm and when you're looking at financial literacy. Let me say this: if you don't understand investments, okay, you don't understand real estate, you don't understand the crypto space that we're in now, huge. Get insight, guys. Don't remain ignorant. Find someone you know and trust, and then be humble enough to ask them questions. There's a ton of resources out there, guys. There's many good, free, helpful resources to help you gain understanding and insight. My videos go on YouTube, right? Because I want to share what I've learned with people, but YouTube's a great place to start. Just make sure you listen to the right people with solid reputations and long-term fruit on their tree, right? Not everybody that puts out video on YouTube, you should you watch or take advice from. Books, guys, I want to just talk about a couple books. This is one I've read on the last year, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, Timeless Lessons on Wealth, Greed, and Happiness. Great resource. One I want to do, and I've never done this before, but my offer is the first 3 local friends that DM me, Rich Dad, I'll get this book to. I've got 3 copies of it. No, I'm not mailing or shipping it unless that's the absolute only way to get this, but be nice to me on it, okay? But know that information by itself doesn't cause transformation, okay? If that were the case, hey, we'd all be healthy, wealthy, and wise, right? So information by itself doesn't cause transformation. You can read this book and do absolutely nothing with it, and it's not going to help you. You still have to address your fundamental belief system about money. That's another topic. I'm reading a book by Financial Planner on the 10 top reasons that rich people go broke, and it gets into the belief systems. So my second part here is how financial literacy works. And this is from an article in The Balance from August of this year. And it just notes, because financial literacy begins with your interactions with money, it is a lifelong journey, and one that inevitably has good and bad moments. I can attest to that. So while you can develop financial literacy by consuming educational content about personal finance, and I encourage you to do that, by the way, you will also gain it through real experiences, right? This isn't a book thing where you can read all the books or watch all the YouTube videos you'll be an expert on. You have to have some real experience. And then a lot of time, again, good mentor mind says he's learned more through his failures than his successes. Guys, you're going to fail, but learn from those failures. Learn what doesn't work, but gain insight by reading people that have wisdom in these areas. Okay, don't try to do it on your own. I'll share with that in a minute. But you've got to understand the pros and the cons of a money decision. Weigh the costs and confidently decide what to do. But being financially literate doesn't mean that you know everything about money, right? I'm not a clairvoyant, anything like that. Rather, it equips you to seek out the answers you need in order to make good financial decisions. So here's some decisions or questions financially literate people often ask themselves when faced with a money decision. How much will this cost? Right. And I would add with that, is it a want or a need? And I think a lot of times in our consumeristic society in the US, we want stuff more than we need it, but how much is it going to cost? And then how do short-term and long-term costs of this choice vary? There's consequences to our decisions, short and long-term. And what are the rules that apply to this choice? For example, if I miss a payment, will I have to have a fee? Does my interest rate go from 12% to 18 or 21%? That can happen, guys. You got to pay attention to that. If I use my money for this, what will I have to give up? What will I gain? Opportunity costs, right? if this is a risky decision, can I afford to lose this money? And that's certainly something as I've gotten the investment arena and the crypto market. One of the big things I've learned and I agree with is don't invest money that you can't afford to lose, right? A financially literate person also understands how common personal financial products work, like checking accounts, right? Credit cards, as well as how costs like interest and fees are calculated. You got to know some of that stuff, right? Some of the core concepts of personal finance include understanding how credit works, how to budget, and how to invest. Okay. Again, if you don't know, reach out to someone who does. Ask for help. Okay. I recommend to get professional advice as needed. Consult a CPA if you've got questions about tax situation and all that. Work with a CFP. We do certified financial planner that can help you with financial planning, investments, all that type of stuff. Reach out to an attorney for legal advice if that's what you need, right? Don't try to figure out stuff on your own. I'm guilty of doing all this, doing stuff that I didn't know, I had no real expertise in, and I ended up getting burned in some situations. Okay, so don't do that. Reach out for advice or somebody that knows something about it that maybe can direct you to a resource. So here's a couple key takeaways today, guys. Financial literacy means you have the ability to weigh the pros and cons of a money decision and confidently choose what to do, right? Confidently choose, not hoping, rolling dice and hoping it's going to work out. Being financially literate doesn't mean you know everything about money. I don't, guys. Gosh, I'm still on a big learning curve, but you do know what questions to ask to make an informed decision. So that's what I got for you today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, and Robert Kiyosaki said this, financial education is why the rich are getting excessively richer. Your financial success depends on what you know about money. So work to be financially literate by educating yourselves. Okay. I hope this perspective was helpful. Have an awesome Monday. Bye-bye.